posing the problem of widespread flooding. Classes at Florida State University were canceled today after police say an FSU graduate shot and wounded 3 students last night. Police shot and killed the gunman. One victim is still in the hospital. Police are interviewing witnesses as they try to determine motive. President Obama will announce his executive action to reform the immigration system tonight. The goal is to free nearly 5 million illegal immigrants from deportation. This includes both children and adults. Under the new plan, adults would be eligible for work permits. And that's a look at top stories from 9 and 10 News at 5.
From Northern Michigan's news leader, this is 9 and 10 News at 6 in high definition.
The cold continues for the rest of the week as lakes across northern Michigan start to freeze up. Winter weather advisories are out for several counties tonight, but temperatures are set to rise over the weekend.
That could mean a mess with rain, not snow. Let's head to Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare with what to expect in tonight's top story.
That's right, Kev. We're talking about right now the blowing snow, the snow coming down, traveling out there. Roadways still snow covered for most locations. Here's the current view of the radar. Snow coming off the Great Lakes up north, Lake Superior, down across the lower peninsula as well. Pretty intense in some locations, but overall, it's beginning to weaken. The atmosphere is changing, so you'll find less lake effect snow tonight and tomorrow morning. At the moment, it's still pretty intense right here, going through Sault Ste. Marie, Brimley, out towards Whitefish Point, and areas westbound as well. Very intense right in this general area, as well as a couple of the darker blues right here, but they're still smaller bands compared to what they were this morning, and the intensity is dropping down. And seasonal snowfall totals so far, incredible numbers. In fact, Gaylord looking at the second greatest November snowfall so far, and there's still days to go in the month, so we could break that record overall. Traverse City up to 19 inches, normally receiving only 5 inches, and Houghton Lake at 7, just 2 inches above the normal. How about conditions to come this weekend? Well, Saturday and light early mix to cold roads. Not good. Icy, slick conditions out there, 30s and 40s. And of course, for Sunday, rain showers coming your way. Still some cold back roads could be causing more issues. Daytime highs there in the 30s and 40s.
All right, thanks, Tom. Now, no students were seriously hurt in recent weather-related bus accidents in Wexford, Clare, and Sheboygan counties. But we wanted to know what bus drivers do to make sure students are safe getting to and from school. At schools like Pine River and Osceola County, drivers are busy handling kids and bad roads at the same time. New at 6, 9 and 10's Eric Lloyd has more on how they try to keep those students safe.
Give ourselves a lot of extra time, but you have to be on time at the same time, so it's tricky, but it's fun.
It's not fun for anybody to drive in this stuff, but it's downright nerve-wracking to drive through it with a 40-foot bus full of school kids.
Then get a different seat where you can sit right. Snow's not usually a problem unless it, drifts really bad over a road.
Drivers like Lori Stinson can control her bus, but can't control those around her.
Give yourself a little extra room between the bus and your car. And definitely try not to go around the bus for fear you're going to get stopped.
The most dangerous time for your kid is not to be on the bus in winter weather. It's actually when they're on the side of the road waiting for one.
In the winter, I tell them stay back really far, because when you're approaching a stop, the kids are cold out there, they're shivering, they like to run towards the bus as it's coming to the stop. And if the bus starts sliding, it always slides to the right.
But actually, statistically, it's safer for a child to ride in a bus to school than in a personal car.
It handles really well. We have snow tires that the mechanics put on, and we are very heavy.
A tough bus and an experienced driver, making sure precious cargo stays safe. In Osceola County, Eric Lloyd, 9 and 10 News at 6.
You don't want to risk anybody getting hurt. You want to minimize what's already happened and hopefully stop it.
New details tonight on a Kalkaska County double murder and the preparations police say Keith Ferguson made before killing his wife and father-in-law. Ferguson faces 12 felonies for an hours-long series of events from murder to kidnapping to home invasion.
Plus 2 charges of having bombs. Now, Ferguson is accused of murdering his wife, Tiffany, in front of their 4 children. Then they say he shot his father-in-law, James Weber, at another Kalkaska County home. That is when the kids got away. Then police say he held a woman hostage at a 3rd home during a 7-hour standoff. The kids and the hostage weren't hurt.
The couple was in the process of going through a divorce and had a custody hearing scheduled for tomorrow. Ferguson, who was visibly angry in court yesterday, is now being held on a $10 million bond. 9 and 10's Brittany Wright has continuing coverage on the case and the training police go through for situations like this.
Kevin and Michelle, Sheriff Israel says Tuesday's events were dangerous for both the community and dozens of police officers who responded.
Hoping for a peaceful resolution and that the hostage would be released unharmed.
Those thoughts raced through Kalkaska County Sheriff Dave Israel's head as accused gunman Keith Ferguson held a woman hostage in a home Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. He says Ferguson was well prepared.
He wore full body armor, vests, and a helmet that was, bulletproof.
He also had explosives and multiple weapons.
Mainly pipe bombs, homemade pipe bomb devices that he had mentioned that he was willing to use. If need be, he would use them towards us.
As the dangerous situation continued, the Northern Michigan Mutual Aid Emergency Response Team arrived on scene. They're trained to handle hostage situations and barricaded gunmen.
There is a hostage negotiation team of whom did an excellent job in this situation and was able to convince him to give up the hostage as well as to surrender himself before anything bad happened.
Sheriff Israel says Ferguson did make some incriminating statements during the standoff regarding the murders. He does not believe Ferguson had any intentions on hurting his kids, only himself. Ferguson is currently on suicide watch in the Kalkaska County Jail. Live in the Traverse City newsroom, Brittany Wright, 9 and 10 News at 6.
And Brittany, as we gather more details on the case, domestic violence advocates say there may have been red flags in the relationship between Tiffany Ferguson and her accused killer. 9 and 10's Breland Martin spoke with an advocate and police about the issue of domestic violence. Breland?
Michelle, domestic violence is an issue that has no boundaries, and though it's not confirmed Tiffany was the victim of abuse, there are signs that any woman can look for to help them realize their relationship could become violent.
It's very important to know the different signs.
Signs, triggers, red flags, all things Shauna Shelton, legal advocate for Oasis and Cadillac, wants women to know if they find themselves in a domestic violence situation.
One of the motives is profit and the second is rage. The 4 triggers are child custody dispute, separation, pregnancy, or an affair.
She says education is key and there are even more things to watch for, like behaviors.
The likelihood that he would commit suicide, that he's making threats. Does he have stalking-like behaviors? That's an indicator that he may be willing to engage in life-threatening behaviors.
Any of this familiar? If so, Shelton says to get help.
There are agencies in our communities that are willing to help and support the victim and their family and children.
And as Oasis hopes more people seek help, Cadillac police are trying to be more effective in domestic violence cases.
We're in the research stages of looking into a lethality screen for victims that officers can do on the scene of domestic violence incidents or calls. That helps victims understand exactly where they may be in the cycle of domestic violence. They can make better decisions for their own safety.
Shelton says her caseload for domestic violence cases has increased in the last few months and that 75% of all domestic violence homicides happen as the victim attempts to leave the relationships or after they have already left. Reporting live, Breland Martin, 9 and 10 News at 6.
Donations are pouring in to help the Ferguson kids and for funeral arrangements. An account was set up at Members Credit Union yesterday. 100% of the donations will go directly to Shirley Weber, the wife of victim James Weber and the mother of Tiffany Ferguson. She's currently taking care of the Ferguson children. So far, more than $2,000 has been raised, and it's easy to donate. Unlike donating through a website that may keep some of the money, the family gets every penny donated.
It makes us feel great that we are able to put this together and be there for the family and help out in the community. And we've had a lot of people coming in and making donations and asking how they can make donations.
We have a link with information on 9and10news.com. An update tonight from the Grand Traverse County Health Department on the number of cases of whooping cough around the county. 3 Kingsley students now also have the virus. The students who have whooping cough are in grades 4, 8, and 9 in the Kingsley School District. Countywide, the department says there are 34 confirmed cases with 166 possible cases.
In less than 2 weeks, people across the Upper Peninsula could see their electric bills skyrocket. A quirk in an old law lets mines choose which power company to use.
In 2013, the Presque Isle Power Plant in Marquette lost a major mine account. To stay open, customers may have to make up the difference. In this special report, 9 and 10's Alyssa Gambla found out more about this power struggle in the UP.
What's happened is that the Presque Isle Power Plant was proposed for retirement by Wisconsin Electric because they were serving the iron ore mines. Wisconsin Electric said, well, if we're not serving that big load, we can retire this power plant. So they were going to close the power plant, but the people who run the electric grid, a group called MISO, said you can't close that power plant because if you do, the grid won't work, and so it needs to stay on. And Wisconsin Electric said, well, if you pay us $52 million a year, which we'd have saved by having a retirement of that plant, we'll keep it open.
To keep this plant open in Marquette, the Upper Peninsula could have to dish out millions of dollars. The plant needs to stay open for the electric grid in Michigan and Wisconsin. But for people in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, they won't actually be benefiting.
You have to maintain a reliable electric system, and if the Presque Isle Power Plant were taken offline or retired, the lights could go out in the UP, and the people that are running the system cannot have that. And so they're saying that plant has to stay running, it has to be paid for, and FERC has said the UP is going to pay for it all. We think that's terribly unfair.
This decision by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, will go into effect December 1st. Cloverland Electric has been working hard to spread the news to their customers. People in the UP will see their electricity bills skyrocket if it goes through. An average homeowner will see about a $30 increase on their monthly bill, and to businesses, hundreds to thousands.
But we don't want to see this happen to the UP like this at all. It's got implications for a lot of different things, but we need help on this one.
It's a crisis really in the UP, and we're on it, but stakeholders are talking, and there may be a solution that will solve the problem, but they need a little more time to come up with a solution that meets the concerns of all the stakeholders.
For some of us, I don't want to pay it, but I can afford it, but there's so many that can't. You take a look at $34 every 1,000 kilowatt hours. That's going to be very hard on people.
The superintendent fears those additional costs could potentially mean lights out for important programs at the schools.
For our district, we're looking at an $80,000 increase in the cost of our electricity bill. We think that's unfair. Anytime you have to spend $80,000 that you weren't planning on, that comes out of the classroom. So it could hit the kids in terms of technology purchases that we would buy from the general fund. It could hit the kids in extra science materials or extra math manipulatives. We're concerned that programs such as sports, such as art, such as music will have to be looked at.
And higher costs of living could make the cost of everything go up.
So somebody needs to figure something out here, or else they're going to lose all the money, the tax dollars that this UP pays.
The Visitors Bureau worries people would no longer visit places like Sault Ste. Marie.
You can come up here and not spend a lot of money and really have a good time, but that's going to be different if this goes into effect. I can't even imagine people are not going to be able to afford it. They're just keeping their heads above water.
The possibility that families could leave the area, I think in troublesome financial times, is always there. Certainly throwing in this extra $100 million added bills on top of what everybody else is paying already will not help families. Certainly won't help kids, and it won't help schools.
So now people in the UP, Michigan lawmakers in Washington and Cloverland are trying to push FERC to reconsider their decision, or at least delay these extra electric costs.
Our office has written to the FERC to ask them hold off till we find a long-term solution, because there's no long-term solution to the problem of not enough power in the UP. Well, that doesn't make much sense to the people in the UP, nor does it make much sense to me.
Alyssa Gambla for 9 and 10 News at 6.
Well, Michigan Congressman Benishek and Peters, along with Senator Stabenow, introduced legislation this week hoping to prevent unfair rate increases.
It's an operation that can help those who don't qualify for open heart surgery. How the procedure is done coming up in MedWatch.
Pick a buck now through December 3rd at Bay Mills Resort and Casinos. Over $42,000 in cash and prizes. Make sure you're there for the final drawing December 3rd when one lucky person will win $10,000 in cash. Pick a buck now through December 3rd. Play all day, play all night. Bay Mills Resort and Casinos. Just take I-75 to exit 386 to Brimley, Michigan.
Thanksgiving is coming soon, and then Black Friday crowds. Ugh. Bandry Home Furnishing says, why wait for special offers after Thanksgiving? Beat the crowds this weekend. And while they last, Lazy Boy Recliner, just $268. And Beauty Rest Queen Set, half price at $548. and interest-free financing. Come to Vandry Home Furnishings this week. You'll like the look, you'll love the price.
We said it was coming. Well, the cold weather's here. Now you really need a Subaru. Get yours at Cherry Capital. Drive a new Legacy for just $229 a month. Forester, just $249 a month. Crosstrek, also $249 a month. Or Outback, just $279 a month. Plus, get financing as low as 1.49%. Great prices, great gas mileage, great all-wheel drive control. Get it all during the Subaru Share the Love event at Cherry Capital Subaru, South Garfield, Traverse City, or cherrycapitalsubaru.com.
You'll love your new car. Now, Northern Michigan's most accurate and reliable forecast from the Doppler 9 and 10 Weather Team.
Snow is blowing here in Cadillac, coming on down. These waves of lake effect snow. Gaylord, look at this. Pretty rough right now. Not looking too good for at least several more hours. And of course, out towards the Frankfort area, things looking a little bit better, but the waves of snow are blowing on through at this point. You got the cold temperatures. It is just rough out there, folks. Current temperatures might be in the teens, but the winds are blowing so hard. You got these wind chill factors 5 above there. Newberry 6 degrees. You're lucky Drummond Island right now at 21 degrees. Barely a breeze there, but one of the few things in all. Live radar network, there's your snow. Look at that. Good, intense band out towards Sault Ste. Marie. Watch out, be extra careful, folks. Whiteouts are expected around these little waves passing on through. Down south, there's Gaylord. Look at that darker blue right to the north of you, too. Out towards Atlanta, a couple snow showers, but diminishes fast. Going just east of the Gaylord area. Grayling westbound Central Lake, burst of snow here, and it still continues southbound, but not as intense. Waves passing on through. Big Rapids by Mánistee, Ludington, even along US 10 towards Scottville. Light flurry snow showers still rolling on through, blowing around. A brief whiteout still going on across much of the state. Down across Detroit, eastbound. Look at that. Another huge band hitting Buffalo there. Out towards north of Syracuse, a huge band of snowfall. All the lakes are really active right now because of all that cold air. So this is not a big surprise. You have the lake effect snow warnings, the winter weather advisories lasting until at least midnight. Some go a bit longer in the UP, but obviously just be extra careful if you have to travel tonight. Here is Future View, 10 p.m. There's your snow, intense around the UP. Still going strongly here for a little while. And then around midnight, 1 o'clock, it begins to weaken a little bit. The atmosphere, it's changing, moving around, warming up, getting rid of the lake effect. By morning, you'll still find some snow showers. The lake effect will be going on, but the intensity on the way down. So by noon, 1 o'clock, looking better. Sun-shining clouds for almost everyone. And of course, temperatures a bit warmer with the sunshine coming out. Highs tomorrow in the 20s area-wide. That's Future View. How much snowfall are you looking at? Those in white, about 1 to 3 inches. Those in purple right there, about a solid 3 to 6 inches. And the worst out towards, say, Pine Stump Junction, out towards Whitefish Point. Yeah, significant snowfall there. And remember, it's still got a gusty wind going on right now. That will be on the way down tonight. Now, overall, it might be cold for now. Big section of the country, very cold, but there is some warmth back here. And yes, a lot of that is rolling up for the weekend with highs in the 40s and for some spots just south of here in the 50s. Tonight, lake effect snowfall going strong. Watch out, be extra careful if you have to travel out there, maybe up to 6 inches, if not more in spots. And in the morning, the lake effect diminishes. In the afternoon, gets better. Our northern counties, lake effect, Gaylord, Petoskey, Traverse City, areas eastbound, some clear skies down through Houghton Lake, and that is why you're going to be so cold tonight and tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, though, get rid of the lake effect. You'll find brighter skies and thus those warmer temperatures. Central counties, the lows, West Branch, Gladwood, nice, clear, dry air. That's why you're so cold. Lakeside warmer because of the lake effect clouds trapping in today's heat. Tomorrow, maybe some morning flurries, but otherwise, sun shining clouds, a dry day. Saturday, a light mix, could be some freezing rain. Be careful out there Saturday morning. Back roads, secondary roads, both Saturday and Sunday, expect to be basically skating rinks, very icy conditions as temperatures do warm up. You get rain out there for Sunday afternoon, and then dropping your temperatures Monday afternoon through Tuesday.
A less invasive heart procedure that a man says added years to his life. It's next in MedWatch.
See the Auto Owners Insurance Doppler 9 and 10 weather station live from the D. Beacom & Sons Insurance Agency in Pickford. Auto Owners Insurance. Life, home, car, business. We're the no-problem people.
Hey Northern Michigan, Andy Wickern at Williams Honda, Northern Michigan's #1 volume Honda dealer. And just announced the all-new 2015 CR-V is Motor Trend's SUV of the year. And right now you can lease a brand new 33 mile to the gallon all-wheel drive CR-V for just $259 a month. Or if you'd like to purchase, how about the award-winning Fit for just $15,525? You should be driving a Honda from Williams Honda. Stop in and see us. We're right next to the Grand Traverse Mall. And remember, if it doesn't say Williams, you definitely paid too much.
It's the biggest Black Saturday sale ever at Art Van Furniture. Line up 9 a.m. for the biggest doorbusters. Free gifts up to 70% off store-wide. Plus, an extra 10% off the sale price. Plus 0% till 2019. Plus, delivery before Thanksgiving guaranteed. Friday 6 to 9, Saturday 9 to noon. Get a bonus 20% off the sale price. The Art Van Furniture Black Saturday sale. Preview Friday. Save now at artvan.com.
MedWatch is brought to you by Munson Healthcare.
I thought I had the flu. Everybody had the flu at that time. So I didn't really realize how desperate the situation was. This whole thing came as a shock, and but it's been taken care of and been taken care of well. All the doctors, they were all first class. How do you thank somebody for saving your life?
Think about what happens when you put your thumb on a garden hose. That's what it's like in the heart when a patient has severe aortic stenosis. Doctors say it can feel like their life is being choked from them. Thankfully today, doctors have more than one option for treatment. Learn more in today's MedWatch. No one will ever accuse Chuck Boyer of being lazy.
I've been retired now 10 years, but I've never slowed down. Even now, we try to get 5 or 6 hours of physical labor in every day, and I'm one that believes if you go sit down sometimes, you're gonna stay sitting down.
That's even after a serious illness left a lasting impact on his life.
Then we ended up with the problems with his feet and his toes going, and then he had the leg amputation and then the foot amputation.
But during all that, doctors realized Chuck was also having heart problems.
They said that I had a bad valve in my heart and it needed to be fixed.
Chuck was suffering from severe aortic stenosis.
What we're looking here is at the aortic valve. In most patients, it has 3 leaflets. They should be thin and pliable, like pieces of paper. Over time, they can become diseased. They become firmer, harder, calcified, and thicker. The most popular valvular problem is this problem in the people in their 70s to 80s, and it's almost certainly nothing that they did. You know, we can't blame the smokers, we can't blame their diet.
In the past, the only option for patients was open heart surgery.
Patients like Mr. Boyer have most often other medical problems that put them at high risk for surgery, and that was his case specifically. If he was 45 years old and didn't have other medical problems, we would have just done open heart surgery.
But today, cardiologists can opt for the TAVR procedure.
Transcatheter aortic valve replacement is TAVR, or TAVR. This is a minimally invasive way of replacing the aortic valve.
There are several ways to access the valve with the TAVR. For Chuck, doctors went up through his groin with the replacement valve.
They're bioprosthetic, they're biologic valves sewn into a metal cage that's expanded by a balloon in its place. The old valve's not taken out. The old valve's crushed to the sides with the new valve taking its place inside the heart.
Most people are out of the hospital in 2 to 4 days. Chuck was a model patient.
The next morning when I got up, they wanted me to get up and walk. Well, I always walked with a cane anyway, so I grabbed the cane the way I went, and Carol said to the doc, "You catch up with him." And you can set your gloves or hat on the top.
Now, 4 months after the procedure, Chuck and his wife Carol look forward to many more years of retirement together.
When you come out of that procedure and find out that, hey, I feel better than I have in 10 years or more, and I didn't realize I was in that bad a shape. Quite often you get up early in the morning when it's still getting daylight and just watch watch the world go round.
For 9 and 10 News Midwatch, I'm Michelle Dunaway.
Early numbers are coming in for firearm deer season. Next in the Hook and Hunting Report, what the DNR has to say about a slow start.
Welcome to the Ideal Kitchen in beautiful downtown Mánistee, Michigan. Some of the brands that we carry are Wusthof Cutlery, All-Clad Cookware, KitchenAid stand mixers, Cuisinart. So come on in. I'm Shelly at the Ideal Kitchen, making your kitchen the ideal place to be.
Celebrate with savings during the Comfort Center's 40th anniversary sale. Enjoy no interest financing for 40 months or we'll pay the sales tax. Recliners starting at $240. Sofas from $340. Everything in every department is drastically reduced for this 40th year celebration. Plus free local delivery. We're your local furniture company working hard every day to earn your business. Come in and register to win a new Serta iComfort Cool Memory Foam mattress just for trying it out. The 40th anniversary sale only at these local Comfort Centers where we furnish the comfort. The rest is up to you.
We have one at the North Pole, South Pole. They've been used in a few movies. We did 180 some for the Salt Lake City Olympics.
Ever see where these poles posted around northern Michigan come from, or the meaning behind them?
There's always some type of story, and what's neat is when you can pick your own languages. You can pick from like a special place you've been.
Jack's Journal, Monday on 9 and 10 News at 6.
This holiday, find the cook in you at the Ideal Kitchen in Mánistee. Give the chef in your life the gift of quality with brands like KitchenAid, Emile Henry, Cuisinart, and All-Clad. The Ideal Kitchen, making your kitchen the ideal place to be this holiday season.
In tonight's Hook and Hunting Report, early numbers suggest that not as many hunters may have gotten out for the opening firearm deer season. The Department of Natural Resources in Cadillac says deer check numbers across the region are down a bit from years past, but not a significant drop. Number of checks help the department gauge how things are going early in the season, and the DNR says numbers may be down because hunters may have wanted to check their deer because of the weather.
We've received so much snow in the last couple days that people might be just bypassing the check station for now. You might be checking it down the road further into the week or even back kind of where they came from.
DNR remains optimistic about the rest of the season. They'll be open this weekend for deer checks in Cadillac from 10 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday. And here's this week's Buck of the Week. Sierra Schreiber caught this 9-point buck, and if you want to submit your Buck of the Week, head over to 9and10news.com and click on the virtual buck poll to send in your picture. Speaking of the Bucks, Roscommon volleyball made the trek to Battle Creek, and so did Northern Michigan sports leader. We'll have a live recap from their state semifinal up next in sports.
Your smile is one of the first things people notice about you. The staff at Frank Family Dentistry helps to create beautiful, healthy smiles comfortably and in just one day. The CERAC tooth restoration system can be created in a matter of minutes at Frank Family Dentistry. You can have natural-looking, long-lasting tooth restoration in a single visit. Call to make an appointment with Frank Family Dentistry, located on M115, just east of Frankfort. Learn more at frankfamilydentistry.com.
Koch Industries started in the heartland, and we've expanded to nearly every state. Today, that's more than 60,000 American jobs. You may not always see our name on the products you use, but we help make better food, clothing, shelter, technologies, and other necessities. Here, we build on each other's ideas to create more opportunities for people everywhere. Together, we are Koch.
When Northern Michigan looks for champions, it looks to 9 and 10, Northern Michigan sports leader.
Screams of joy from volleyball players reverberating off the walls at Kellogg Arena this afternoon. Energy is unreal, and one of our local teams hoping to feed off it. For as dominant as Roscommon has been in the Jack Pine, it has not always translated into deep postseason runs for the Bucks. This year, that changes. Roscommon making school history today, playing in its first state semifinal, squaring off against Schoolcraft in Class C. All good for Roscommon to start, too. In the first, Katie Tozer going to help her team take game one, 25-19. The team switched sides, but the results are still the same. Kaylin Church with the dig. Regan Moffitt going to come up with the kill, and Bucks taking the second game 25-14 after trailing for most of game three. Tozer going to tie it up at 24. 2 more points. Roscommon sweeps into the state finals, but J.C. Suzlin and the Eagles get it done 27-24 to keep this match going. And not only does Schoolcraft win game 4, they take game 5, 15-12. Heartbreak for the Bucks. So close to winning,
Their season ends with a 3-2 loss. Shannon McGrattan talked to the Bucks after this one, and she's live in Battle Creek with a recap.
Jeff, going into this afternoon, Roscommon looked to stay perfect this postseason, and it did really well in games 1 and 2, winning by multiple points. However, game 3 was a battle until the end when Schoolcraft won 27-25, and from there, the Bucks never took the lead the rest of the afternoon. They tied games 4 and 5 a few times, but the Eagles flew this one home, meaning Schoolcraft advances to Saturday's finals, leaving Roscommon disappointed but appreciative for the long season it had.
I think we're very proud of this season, and we're very happy the way it ended.
Yeah, this was our goal to get to Battle Creek. So even though it didn't end the way we did, we all love each other, and we played really hard.
We talked about at the beginning of the year creating a story that was worth telling, and Schoolcraft is a great team. They have great players. They have obviously a great coach, and they got going, and we didn't. That's volleyball.
Compton then went on to say that today was extremely frustrating for both the coaching staff and team when it did lose its momentum and never truly got it back, something the Bucks hadn't experienced this entire year. So now that Roscommon is out, Leland and Onaway are the only two teams left this postseason, and coincidentally, the Cardinals and Comets meet tomorrow in Class D semifinal action. Reporting live in Battle Creek, I'm Shannon McGrattan for 9 and 10 Sports.
Thank you, Shannon. The NHL, actually, a pair of former Lake Superior State stars swapping teams today. Kellen Lane, now an Oiler, Will Acton, now a Canuck. We got University of Michigan basketball tonight, and the Red Wings playing in Winnipeg all tonight on Sports Extra.
Final look at your 7-day forecast. We continue talking about snowfall coming on down tonight. It'll linger through tomorrow morning. It will be still cold tomorrow. And then concerns for the weekend, some icy mix possible on Saturday, some light rain or freezing rain, a couple of flurries in the morning. Your temperatures do warm up, but still those back roads, secondary roads, big concerns there.
Definitely.
A whole new set of concerns then for the weekend.
Yes.
Exactly, even with the big warm up, look out.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
CBS Evening News is next. Have a great night.
For the latest news and weather 24 hours a day, visit 9and10news.com. And when you see news happening, email the 9 and 10 newsroom at news@9and10news.com or call us toll free at 1-800-STAR-910.
Tonight, taking his case to the people. The president explains why he's ignoring Republican warnings and allowing millions of illegal immigrants to stay. Major Garrett has that. Ben Tracy with a family divided.
So when you go to visit your mom, what do you tell her?
I just tell her I love her.
After a record snowfall, they take to the roof to save their homes. Jerika Duncan is there. A shooting at a Florida college. And